Hi, I'm here to respond to some of the other frequently asked questions. Let me have a look at them and answer some of them. What is the recommended frequency of sessions? I think for me, based on the work that I have done, I have noticed that a 2 week gap between sessions, so having sessions fortnightly or having 2 sessions a month, work really well for my clients. And the reason for that is that our body needs a little bit of time for integration. And therefore, having some time away from the process allows some of these ways in which we know how to make sense, settle, digest, metabolize some of the work that we may have done in the session. The other thing about the time in between session is often the focus on resourcing. I might recommend something that you might do between sessions and to consolidate the work that we have done. One of the questions that I'm asked a lot is, what if I can only come once in 3 weeks or once in a month? What I've noticed is if the sessions get very extended or become very unpredictable, it becomes very much focused on the content of sessions. So there may be a lot to speak about that has happened, or it might become focused about a particular moment that has emotional intensity, and there isn't often time to build capacity or finding ways to explore something differently, because end of the day the sessions are limited in duration. So if something's building up in intensity and that needs attention, then that becomes the priority, and then we move away from stabilization, which is what is the intention of this kind of work, to management. And that has a very different outlook and structure, which is not something that I offer in the framework that I work with. There could be other people who are better at that kind of work. And if you are needing more just management based on incident and moments that are occurring in life, and not really working through these coping patterns that have been entrenched in the body, heart, spirit, then probably that is more useful to you than looking at someone like me. The other question that I get is, what about telehealth? I have worked with telehealth. The only requirement for telehealth is the ability to see the whole self, and therefore tap the auditory connection, the internet connection, and also just the space and setup has to be different. And if you are willing to explore and attend to some of those requirements, then we can see if telehealth is something that works for you. The other question I get a lot is, would you ask me to move into my trauma memories? I think I work from the model of organic intelligence, which means that the body has an intelligence that shows the way. I don't try and preempt anything if it's not something that I am noticing emerge. And even if we do have to go into a particular memory, the focus will not be so much on the content of the memory, but how it feels in the moment and what are the impulses that needs to be explored here and now. So we stay very mindful and grounded in the present moment, and that is how we enter the memory. We may also not enter the full memory. We may just notice and stay at the periphery of the memory. It really depends on so many factors. Where is the relational safety at? What resources have you built in yourself? What is the nature of the memory itself? What is the intensity that you are able to hold? And I'm always consulting with clients on, shall we take the next little step or shall we just stay here? So I think my approach is very collaborative. And the last question that I like to answer today is, what if I can't feel anything in my body? And what if I'm not creative? And therefore I can't do some of the expressive stuff. My work here is to allow you to really feel into what is not felt, but also to experiment and explore different ways in which you could actually become more and more attentive to your body. I do a lot of explorations in sessions, warm in sessions, so that you and I together can try some of these things out and see how that feels. The other part of it is, what if I'm not creative? So I work with the low skill model in terms of creativity. So we're not really making anything really big or drastic or something that's very technical. We're using everyday material and found objects to represent and construct. And the idea here is to more express through making. I think there's something really important about that rather than talking, because that has a very different felt experience. Now, I think if we construct something with our hands, we use gestures or we make sounds, we know as we hear that, or I mirror it back to you, that that feels right or doesn't feel right. And we have the ability to refine. And it's not the same in verbalizing our experience. You will notice as you move through that you actually are expressive. We all are expressive. We all bring spontaneity. And perhaps some of that has not been developed. And soon you will make friends with both your body and with your ability to be creative. I hope these answer all of your questions. And I have done another frequently asked question video, which I'll link here. Feel free to send me any other question that you might have on through the comment section or send me an email. I look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you.